Oh my God.
Hey, it's Joel. I'm in spring break capital of the world, New Jersey. And I'm here at MKBHD's studio with Adam and Alex. Now, Adam, what do you do here?
I am the podcast producer.
Which means what?
So I make sure that we have the videos, I make sure that we have audio done correctly to our audio guy so that Ellis can handle the mix down and everything like that. And then once the full podcast is produced, then I upload it to the internet so that everyone else can see it.
And Alex, what do you do here at the studio?
I'm the studio manager, so I take care of everything around here.
Everything?
Yeah, try to make sure everybody has what they need, get, sets set up and torn down, and generally make sure that things don't fall into a state of disrepair.
Well, I'm here at the studio because I've heard you guys do a little 3D printing, right? Mm-hmm. What's the current state of 3D printing here at the studio?
It's somewhere between hobbyist and extremely useful.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
so
a good description.
Yeah, we make silly things for sets. We also...
Yeah, here, we got some stuff. Yeah,
so
why don't
we
make some
show
stuff?
It off? So, we've got like handsome Squidward.
Handsome Squidward, of course. So things for set, things to decorate,
set, yeah.
right?
So,
but then you've got some functional things there too, right?
Right. Made a card caddy.
For all of us, so I have one of those too.
Everybody has their
Everybody gets their own card caddy?
Yes, for each channel that we have here. This one's for the studio channel, but every channel has their own card caddy for their cards and their media. This was my first multi-material print that I did.
Sweet.
Blur that out so people can't get on our Wi-Fi, but it's a Wi-Fi QR code for when we have guests. People can scan this.
There, look at that. Well, it's a sweet, flat, black filament print.
It's less impressive from the back. And then this, I made it all by myself. A little shelf for on the back of a XDR display.
Oh,
so
cool.
This was so that our one studio producer, Rich, could put his drives back behind his monitor.
So functional printing, really, even Handsome Squidward is a functional print because you have to use it for set decoration, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
What machine do you guys have?
Anchor makes it's the M5, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. But it sounds like, though, getting started, it's great, but you guys have your eyes on a prize further down the road, right? So what are the things that you're looking to do with 3D printing?
I want to make a mount for my iPad mini, which I currently have right now underneath my studio display. So for work, when I plug it in, I have Sidecar so I can have other apps running. And I printed out these very basic hook type things that I found on printables and just screwed them into the bottom of my my stand. But I want something a little nicer, a little more fulfilling to look at, more aesthetic.
Maybe multiple materials to be able to have some soft materials with rigid together.
So
what are you looking to do?
What I really want to do is make my own 3D printed basketball. That's my number one goal. I'm addicted to the one that we have here. That we got sent from Wilson.
Yeah.
And I want to make my own, which I watched your video on. Seems more than a little difficult, but
there's some cool filaments since I've done that that allow you to do it. But you're going to need a bigger machine.
Yes,
something with a little more space.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys are in luck.
Yeah.
We partnered with Prusa, and I've got something for you. It's set up in the other room. Do you want to go see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, follow me. Follow me.
Here you go. Look what I got you. This is the Prusa XL. Now, what you have is fine. But if you want more or advanced or extra, I figured this would do the trick.
You figured correct.
I think you're right. I already see 3 times more filaments than I'm used to working with just on this side.
A few specs, right? So 360 by 360 by 360 build volume. It's a 360 millimeter cube. It's got 5 individual heads, and each head has a 0.4 millimeter nozzle.
Okay.
Each head will go to 300C. The bed itself will go to 100C. And what's kind of interesting about this bed is there are 16 little bed heaters under it, and each one of those can be individually powered. So if you have a smaller model that doesn't take up the whole build plate, it doesn't have to fire off those ones on the side where it's not sitting. Right off the bat, though, one of the things I want to show you is this giant bag of Haribo gummy bears. Prusa Research is based in the Czech Republic, in Prague.
Okay.
It's a beautiful city. And there are European gummy bears put into every box.
That's what I saw your video and I was like, what's with the
That's how
gummy
you know
bears?
they're going to be fire. All right, I'm going to eat some.
And the reason the gummy bears are included is because this is available in a semi-assembled form. You actually look in the instructions for the build and it tells you to take a break and eat a gummy bear. Just to make sure while you're building it, you have enough energy to build it. There
Yeah,
we go.
This is
All
great.
right.
What great thinking by Prusa.
Well, what questions do you have about this machine? Because I know this is very different from what you have currently.
How long does it take to put together?
So the semi-assembled one, you're going to have to invest some time in that. I've seen people do it in 8 hours. I've seen people do it in shorter than that. I've seen people take a weekend to do it.
Okay.
Prusa also has the option to have it fully assembled. And Dave from Printed Solid, who's off camera right there, he actually brought this fully assembled for you guys because he knows you wanted to get up and going really fast.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. The switching extruders, how does it do that in real time, like during the print?
Well, actually, Dave, will you actually start a print for me? So in order to do that in real time, the machine, you just hand it the set of instructions and it follows them. And in that instructions, it says to switch the heads. And so it knows in space where each head docks.
Okay.
We can watch it. Like, it's going to home and figure out where it's at. And then it'll switch to a different extruder.
That's crazy.
That's so seamless.
Yeah. And it keeps each of them at different temperatures, like?
It can. And so that's the beauty of having multiple heads. So you know of machines that can print multiple colors through the same nozzle. When that happens, you want the materials that you're printing to melt similar, or else you're going to have to heat up and cool down the nozzle a bunch, which can lead to jams. But when you have 5 different heads, you can have each head at a different temperature if you want. You can have 200 C on one and 300 on the other.
And then you could have, say, PLA and TPU together if you want to make a weird multi-layered basketball.
Wink.
And I did a video on the Prusa XL where I went through the multi-material aspects of it, and it wasn't a basketball, but it was a phone stand. And I went and found a model on Printables, and it was just an easy single-color phone stand, nothing big. But because with the software that you use to print with this, you can customize certain parts. So within the geometry, you can say, this part, I want you to use extruder 2, and it happens to have flexible material. So now my phone stand has a back where the phone rests that's in flexible material.
Nice.
And it works out really well.
Nice. So I'm noticing this has like a hood on it. I tried my first ABS print a little bit ago because I was making a part for one of our red camera rigs. And so I custom made a thing in Tinkercad and like a little piece to hold our one little transmitter on top of the camera. But the issue I ran into was the ABS requires everything to be hot, like all around, because the problem was our room was too cool. So I basically had to hotbox our room. And
Which
use
room?
Our gear room where we keep all of our cameras.
Bad idea.
So I'm very happy to see that this has the hood over top, which I assume is to keep the temperature consistent.
Think about it this way. It'll keep drafts out and temperature consistent inside. A lot of times with ABS and ASA, when you're printing it, you want a warmer environment, but you want a consistently warmer environment. So this one's got the accordion up front. When you're printing, actually, Dave, can you raise that up for me? So if you're printing with materials that require that,
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
you
that's
just do that. And now the printer's enclosed.
Why wouldn't you want that for all prints?
That's a really good question. So if you're running with an ambient temperature that's hot enough to affect where the material is melting within the extruder, you can cause jams.
So it's like material dependent whether you want that up or down or not.
Right, exactly.
Explain to me this. So the bed I'm seeing here is much different than what I'm used to. I'm used to one that is more like
Smaller?
this, well,
Touché.
but it's more like this one. The one that we currently have is more textured.
And then we have this one over here,
And then we
too.
have this one over here, which looks perhaps more smooth.
So this one is going to be smooth PEI.
Okay.
So there is a PEI film over the top of it. It's a flexible build plate.
That's
All
such
of
a
them are
good
flexible.
sound.
Here, you want to do it?
Yes.
Smooth PEI, you can print PLA on this really easily. Other materials with an additive, we'll talk about that in just a sec. But it provides a glossy finish to your prints. Okay. Glossy finish. So this one, textured, powder-coated PEI. So rather than it being a PEI film, it's if you wanted to print that PET material on something like this, you could, because it still allows enough release.
Okay.
And it's not going to pull up the texture. The one that's in there right now is the satin sheet.
Okay.
And so it's very similar. It's going to hold on to the materials, but it's not going to provide a glossy bottom finish.
Okay.
Like that's what's really cool about this, and that's why I'm really excited for you guys to have this. Imagine all of the experimenting and playing with you get to do. So these are the nozzles for the machine. A lot of times in the before time, or like with your machine, the Anchor Make, there's a nozzle and then there's an integrated heat break and you got your throat and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't look like this. Part of what makes this really cool is that you just change it all. A lot of times you have to worry about how tight the nozzle is against the heat break because you don't want any space there where filament is melting. But because it's all integrated, you don't have to worry about torquing it to a certain degree. You just put it in
That is
and you're
helpful.
good.
Yeah.
In the event that you do have older nozzles that don't look like this is the adapter. So any E3D V6 style nozzle, you can put this in. Anytime you're printing with something like carbon fiber or glass fiber.
This could print carbon fiber?
So carbon fiber impregnated materials.
Okay.
And so it's not a strand of carbon fiber, it's what we call chopped carbon fiber. It still has layer strength and it's still strong itself, but now that chopped carbon fiber has made it stiff. So you get the advantages of nylon, but you get a stiffer part.
That's really cool.
See?
What is that made of?
Magic.
I love magic.
And so while we've been talking, it's been printing. It's already gone through multiple tool changes, and it's laid the first layer down of a really cool gear bearing.
What is that square thing in the middle?
The square thing in the middle, that's a good question. So a lot of times when you print with multicolor, you have to purge a little bit of material when the nozzle's getting ready because you want to make sure the pressure's correct. And because this has multi-heads, you're not purging to make sure the next color is available. You're just getting the pressure ready. So there's far, far less material that you have to waste within a transition tower or a purge block.
I saw that in your review of it, and I love that because one of the main things about our current setup, I'm always just like, oh, I always feel so bad about wasting material. So the less of that, the better. That's awesome.
So this is printing, and it's printing well.
Yeah.
And it actually brings me to something that's really cool. So little birdie told me that you happen to be Knicks fans.
Yes.
Correct.
Possibly, maybe.
No, indisputably.
And you play a lot of ping pong here at the studio,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Okay. I may have used my Excel at home to make something custom for you, utilizing the functionality that this offers. And in doing that, I made a little kit. So I know that you guys have this now, and you're going to start doing more really cool prints that you have to put together.
Yeah.
And I think I want to give you that experience. And so I've prepared a little kit for you, and there's some assembly required.
Perfect.
And are you ready for a project?
I'm ready.
I'm ready to rock.
Let's go.
Let's do it. One of the things that I've done is create a project for you to put together. Now, I heard a New York Knicks fan, right? There's oranges, there's blues, and there's grays in the logo, right? I also hear you play a lot of ping pong.
We do.
You do play a lot of ping pong. So
After work.
After work. Okay.
Always. And
So
after lunch.
so I made
Oh my god.
custom
God.
ping pong paddles.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
So just initially, I want you to see.
Thank you.
So these are going to be the base.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What I did using the Prusa XL is I printed this, and I just put your name in it because you can use two materials. This is PETG, PET like the water bottles, and they had G, which is glycol, just to make it a little easier to 3D print. The handles are attached with 2 screws and 2 nuts each. The handles are flexible material and rigid material, like hold it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, sick.
To complete it, let's see, Adam,
Thank you.
Oh my God, it's gonna have
Alex.
my name on it. Oh, it's amazing.
Adam.
Thank you. We'll never get
amazing.
confused again.
Oh.
So now, if you wanted to, can I borrow that for a sec?
Uh-huh.
This is flexible, and you can feel it. It's got some grip. But on the bottom, you see it's orange. So it's the PETG. Flexible materials like TPU and PETG bond together really well. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
So cool.
And when you print just flexible material, it's difficult to get off some build plates. So I thought, well, what if I printed a layer of PETG on the build plate, which is a rigid material, and then bond it to that TPU? So it came off the build plate really easy.
Genius.
So see, now what we need to do, this is where it gets really cool. So I've got something from 3D Glue. It's a company that specializes in 3D print material adhesives. Normally, if you were to use something like super glue, it's an adhesive. So it's gonna hold on to both sides and just hold it together as good as it can, right? This though, formulated for PETG, creates a chemical weld between the two surfaces. So it is a solvent base, so it's always good to wear gloves when using it. But 3D Glue also sent PLA and ABS glue. So if in your designs you're using PLA or ABS to make multiple parts, you can use the glue to make permanent connections.
Cool.
You should get them together pretty quick.
Okay. I'm working on it.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Now what we got to do, we just got to wait like 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
This will be a permanent connection.
Okay.
And at that point, I figure it's only best if we test them out on the ping pong table.
I think
Absolutely.
that's correct.
A few moments later.
All right, what do you guys think?
It's
They are.
perfect.
They're very satisfying. You hear the sound?
There's
This
a
is
nice
way.
thump.
As far as ping pong paddles, they seem to be working, but for changes though, if you were to do this differently, you might find a different flexible material to print on
Yes.
top, right?
For
Yeah.
sure. Or potentially like build a really light frame and then use traditional ping pong sponges on it or something
okay.
like that. Because then we can make a super light paddle that way. Potentially do carbon
Cool.
fiber.
Oh,
that'd
that's
be
right.
sick.
Yeah, I also really
that would
like
lighten it
the-
up a little bit.
The flex that the handle has.
I
that's
love
really
that.
cool.
I like it better than my regular paddle.
Yeah,
if I'm
I'm
being
not
honest.
going back.
Really?
This is the one I'm using now.
We're gonna like disassemble our current paddles and like 3D print handles for them if nothing else.
It's great. Like this is a V1 attempt at ping pong paddles for me, and to have such a success is
Yeah, it's solid.
great.
For V1, this is like
Yeah, for V1.
crazy. Yeah.
So what's great is I did this on my Prusa XL, and I can share the files with you guys, so you
Yes.
can modify.
Yeah.
We'll actually go over the software, and I'll give you a tour of it, and I can show
Awesome.
you what I did,
That'd be
just so you
perfect.
have some ideas. And for you guys out there, thanks for making this far. If you did, you're awesome. Don't forget to hug each other more, fight for a cause you believe in, print all the ping pong paddles, right?
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And as always, high five.